Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly call. I'm super excited to be here, and I must say, I feel a little bit nervous, but I love coming out of my comfort zone. That's where we all grow, don't we? So, just want to welcome you all here and congratulations for showing up today. That is the first step, of moving your business forward, making sure you're showing up to everything. So, we've got lots of people on the call today, and I'm excited to deliver hopefully some great value to all of you. So, for those of you that don't know me yet, my name's Laura. I am a mum of three children. They're 7, 9, and 11, originally from the UK, but I actually live in Spain now. And this week, I officially hit the 100K club in my business, 100K income. So, really excited about that. But, before I get going with this session, I just want to, give my gratitude to each and every one of you. First of all, to my sponsor, my upline, Ilium, Nuno, the continuous value and support that you give me, the corporate team, and really all of you leaders that kind of led that way before me and inspired me and showed me what was possible. And also, of course, to each and every one of my team, because you don't hit those kind of milestones, those ranks, those incomes, if it isn't, a whole team effort. So a huge big thank you for each and every one of you. Now, translators, thank you for your time. I'm going to do my best to not talk too quickly today because I know that you need to translate into lots of different languages. So this session today, this training, it's not just going to be about, that income, hitting the 100K, because I want to talk a little bit about what 100K means, because it means leadership, structure, duplication. It really means kind of creating a momentum with your team. Because for me, it's all about building something that lasts, something that really multiplies. So today I'm going to walk you through my story, but not just for inspiration. I also want to give you some strategy behind it. And I want to leave you all with a little bit of belief by the end of this call that you can do it too. But also, I'm really going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you the truth because it's not easy and it's not linear. It doesn't go in a big straight line like that. So you're going to hear the real journey, the highs, the setbacks, the rebuilding, and really the exact system and the duplication that got me here. So for some of you, it might feel a little bit emotional. Maybe I'm going to trigger some of you and make you feel a bit uncomfortable. But also, hopefully, I'm going to be practical and give you some value. Whether you're just literally starting out right now, maybe you're stuck in a bit of plateau. Maybe you are, building with momentum right now. No matter what, I hope to deliver some value that's going to help you, on your journey too. So, let's kind of get your pens and papers out as well. I think it's important on all of these calls, have those pens and papers there ready for you. So let's kind of take it back to kind of where it all started in network marketing. So I want to talk, I think I'll start about 7 years ago. I was literally in one of the darkest places in my life. I had just lost a traditional business, it was gone overnight. I had poured everything into it, time, money, identity, and in an instant, it was gone. And at that time, I had three kids under 5 years of age. I was in a huge amount of debt. I was literally drowning. And I was in the middle of a horrible court case. I was working in events at the time. Those are 7 days a week, no structure, no real peace. And I felt really sick. I felt like a failure then when I'd lost, 15 years of hard work and I was scared, ashamed. But you know what? Something inside me, it just refused to let that be the end of my story. So when I actually started in network marketing, I started where in life I was at rock bottom really. And I didn't start, because I had time or I had money. I started because I realized that it was a vehicle. It was a way, it was the only choice really that I had then. And I started with nothing. Now, when I first got going, I used to get up early before work at 5 a.m. I had a little baby, Lola, on my lap and two other kids making a mess everywhere. And I built it in between nursery runs, working my events, chaos around the house. And my first business in network marketing took me 3 years of consistent daily action. And I did hit those six figures just. But every single day, no breaks, no excuses at all. But guess what? 18 months ago, I lost it all. Not through my own fault, the business was just gone overnight. Everything I'd worked so hard from, and I had to start again from scratch, from zero. It literally felt like the biggest punch in the stomach. But you know what? I cried for about 5 minutes. I got angry for about two. And then I looked in the mirror and I said, Laura, you've done it before. You'll do it again, but this time faster, smarter, and stronger. And I think, once you've done something once, you kind of know what boxes you want ticked. But I really had to make sure that this time I was going to choose the right company. I love the network marketing industry. I've seen it change so many lives in such and impact them in such a positive way. And I know that I'm just built for this industry. But I had to choose the right company. And why was this time different? After everything I'd been through, I was not going to jump into anything that was just shiny and new. I was older, I was wiser. I just knew exactly what I wanted and what I needed more than anything. So, first of all, it had to be a product or service that I loved. And I knew it had to be travel. I love travel. It just kind of elevates like my life, so many people's lives. It makes me happy. And it was always on my goal board to travel the world. So I wanted to find a business in travel. It had to be a pay plan that pays and not just rewards those at the top. I needed a corporate team that listened, leadership with integrity, but also, with a track record of already getting results. And I did not want any hype. I didn't want to come into something of hype and fake promises. And you know what? Over all of it, I wanted a way to find a business that I could involve my family, my children to be involved with it as well, because I didn't want to build a business again where it was just me working alone. And this kind of, I don't know, it just fit all those boxes. I knew, although I wanted to be in travel, not a travel agent. I've been there, I've done that. That felt like taking on another job. I wanted to find something with true residual income, not booking people holidays for others and kind of watching them live their life. I wanted to make a living by truly, truly living. And I actually, when I came across MWR, I checked it out and I asked somebody that I trusted to help me look into it deeper. Laura Husson, I know she's on the call. Thank you, Laura. She's been in the travel industry for over 20 years, and I really valued her opinion. And I knew she'd be honest with me. And she looked at the platform, she checked it out, she gave me the green light. And that was the final confirmation that I needed. I already saw the potential of the pay plan. Now, when I first started, I didn't dip a toe in. I came all in, Ambassador Elite Turbo on day one, because I led with what I wanted others to do. If I was going to build something this time, I had to be like full commitment or not doing it at all. And I remember I'd been speaking to Ilian for a couple of months. And at that time, I knew something was going on where I was kind of in my old company, but I wasn't sure. And we had conversations, and I used to say to him, I'm not coming there, but if something happens, I need a plan B. Anyway, he knew my story, what I'd been through. And you know what I loved about him? He was straight talking. He was transparent. And that mattered so much to me because I needed a mentor that would tell me straight, push me, and not baby me, or not kind of give me a load of hype. I didn't have any money at the time, but you know what? I really felt like I needed to feel this company. I needed to feel it before I could really share it. So Ilian said, come to convention. This was like 14 months ago. And I literally, all I'd done was signed up. That was it. So I booked a flight. Like I said to my husband, I'm going to Milan. He's like, what? We've got no money. I was like, I've got to go to Milan and I'm going to Dubai afterwards. And he was like, okay, I believe in you, go. So we flew to Milan for the company convention and I just kind of felt the heartbeat of the company there. And then straight from there, we got on these two planes to Dubai and I experienced a life experience trip in Dubai. And we had the best time. It was so fun. The community, the organization, everything. It really delivered. So that was it. My decision was made and it was like, let's build. Now, when I joined this company, obviously I started from zero like everybody else, but I had big goals from day one. I wasn't here to play small. I actually looked at the pay plan and I looked at the different ranks and I remember circling diamond. and I circled the $750 a day residual. And I said to myself, that's mine. And I still know that it's mine for the taking. But I also knew that I had to take that goal and I needed to put it in a little box for now. I knew that's where I wanted to be, but now I had to focus on what was right in front of me right now. My first person, then the next. So I picked up the phone and I called three people that I love and trust, and I know love and trust me: Nikki Nash, Laura Husson, and Dave Scott. These are people that I've done stuff with before. They're people I respected. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with. They were driven, hardworking, and they liked, knew, and trusted me. Now, I didn't message them nervously. I called them. I'm doing something and I want you in first. Dave hadn't even seen a presentation, nothing. He said, Laura, are you serious? I said, yeah, I am. Are you with me? And you know what? He said, okay, I guess I'm in. This was without even seeing a presentation. It was just my energy, my conviction. Laura's already halfway there. She'd vetted the platform out beforehand and knew behind the scenes that I'd been looking at something. Nikki said no to me at first. And I just said, well, I'm doing it. I want you in, but I'm going to do it without you if I have to do it without you. You've got until the end of today to decide. Half an hour later, she called me up and she said, right, I'm in. So, I just kind of said to them then, right, what I want you to do is I want you to get people to my house tomorrow. Don't explain it to them, just get them there. 9 people showed up in my living room the next day. They didn't have a clue what was going on. And looking back, gosh, that first presentation was a total mess. I remember I couldn't find like a proper presentation that I felt right for me in English. So I'd found one in French online and I used some, I don't know how I pulled it off. I Google translated it into English. I re-scripted it, made kind of a rough PowerPoint. I was really nervous, but I just got them in the room and I started to present the business, not having a clue what I was doing, and although it was a mess, the room was filled with belief, with energy, because that's what people connect with. And I want you to remember that the energy is what sells. And from there on, I just kept it really simple. Get to silver over and over again. So I got my fast start, 2 sign up straight away, 1 more, hit silver, 3 elite turbos, and my membership was paid for completely. I did that on day 1. Now, then all I had to do now was teach others to do the same and do it again myself. The simpler that I kept it, I knew the faster that it was going to duplicate. They didn't need to see all the detail. I'm finding that so many people are wanting to learn the pay plan inside out, understand every tiny thing. How are they going to reach these big ranks? Do you know what? None of that matters. So many people spend hours planning, analyzing, dissecting, and never get started. Please just start. Focus on the first milestone, tick it off, and repeat. It's as simple as that. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you build. And I hit Jade, presidential rank, in just 5 weeks. I was now earning a full-time income, and so many of my team were already doing well, and hitting up those ranks. And you know what? That wasn't built from spillover. I didn't drag one big team over. It was organic. It was a few ride and dies and 100% enrollment volume all the way to Jade. And honestly, that felt good. It felt good because when you actually build something yourself, it just kind of hits different. It really does. So that happened. And I said to Ilian, what's next? And he said to me, fill a room with 100 people and I'll come to the UK. And I didn't say, let me think about it. I didn't say I'm not ready, because do you know what? I just said, yeah, okay, it's done. Because when you say yes, you make things happen. When you start saying, I'll think about it, you procrastinate. You talk yourself out of it. When you say, I'll try's not even in my vocabulary. You're either going to do it or you're not. You don't need to talk yourself out about it. When you say yes to something, you just figure it out later. You move. So I got to work. I found a venue. I created a ticket link. We sold tickets to cover the cost of the room ourselves. And I said to the team, right, there was just a small team. We're inviting like our lives depend on it. Okay. We have got to fill this room. And we built with urgency. We created FOMO. We made people feel like they couldn't miss out. We were just on the phone, on our social medias, calling and messaging people. And we filled the room. People traveled from all over the UK. And we didn't just run an event. What we did at the event is we captured it. We were filming, there were photos, we put stories up, we were going live all together on our social media, because that event, that one day of all of us in the room, what it became hundreds and hundreds of touch points online to share what we'd created in that room to all of our social media. And we created momentum in that room. It was so fun, but we also created that social proof. And that built the belief for those people that didn't come to that event, that this was a real thing, that we were really serious about what we were doing. Now, that event was a real turning point, and we were just getting started. The people that came to the event, you know what? They walked away with such a higher belief in their bones than those that didn't, because they felt the energy, they felt the vision, they felt the mission. And what happened there was the community really clicked. People kind of got to know each other on a real deeper level. And then I realized this isn't a business. This is a family that we're creating. And guess what? So many different rank ups started popping in. That one room had a ripple effect, and it just kind of carried us through the next months with that energy. And we rode that wave of energy and we kept moving, showing up every day. We hosted live Zoom calls 3 times a week so the team could consistently plug into their prospects into it. We didn't leave people to figure it out. We gave them something to plug people into, something solid, as well as I don't know how many hundreds of Zoom calls that I was doing one-on-one a day with people. Behind the scenes, I invested my time, my money, my skills into building out proper onboarding and a community hub over that time. But everything aligned with what the company already had and what was already working. And I want to give you a tip here. Please don't start to reinvent the wheel with something that's already working. Duplicate, refine, simplify. That's how you're going to scale. So in January this year, I remember I got a call from Ilian, or a voice note, and he said in January, "Hey Laura, I'm about to go on a personal 90-day run, 16 hours a day. You in?" I didn't hesitate. Once again, I said, yes, of course I'm in. Didn't even think how I'm going to do these 16 hours around the kids and everything else, but I said yes, and I'd figure it out later. And then I did the same with my team. I picked the phone up. I told them I was doing a personal 90-day run and I was all in. Are they doing it? Let's do this together. And every single day, without fail, I followed the steps. I showed up. I booked as many presentations day in, day out as I could for 90 days without fail. And I didn't just tell my team to do it. And I didn't just tell them I was doing it. I made sure they could see that I was doing it. And this is something that I want you to think about. You need to lead from the front, because I'm telling you something. Nobody wants an upline who just sits back and tells you what to do. They want a leader who's doing it with them, shoulder to shoulder, get in the trenches with them, show people what's possible. So if you're building a team, I want you to know that your team are going to copy your example. They're not going to listen to your instructions. So if you want duplication, you literally need to model it. And while I'm here, I just want to give a massive shout out to somebody. She's not even in my team. Selene, you matched my work ethic during that 90-day run. We pushed each other, we inspired each other. We finished one Zoom, and every message we'd send screenshots over into the chat. One more, one more. And, we just do another and another and kept each other going through that game, keeping that energy high. And that's how I then went from Jade all the way up to Pearl. Another milestone ticked off, tick. It's not luck. It's not magic, it's leadership, it's duplication, and it is relentless action every single day. Now, let's just go back 10 weeks from now. Like 10 weeks ago, what happened? Wow. Our North American team launched. My organization has literally doubled. And have they got me working? Yes, they have. Call after call, Zooms at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., back to back, night after night, messaging, presenting, supporting, leading. You know what? These are leaders that I once dreamed would join me, and suddenly they are. And I get people that have said to me, quite a few actually recently, Laura, you're so lucky to have all these amazing leaders in your team. But I want to tell you something real. That wasn't luck. That was readiness. It really was, because you don't get your breakthrough just because you want it. You get it when you've done the work and you're ready to hold it. Now, the truth is, years ago, I probably wouldn't have been ready for this massive wave of growth. I've had to become the woman that could actually handle it and carry it. You see, for years and years, I literally worked relentlessly. I showed up every single day. I was doing everything I thought was right, but I still just didn't feel like I was getting that real breakthrough, that real momentum that I thought at the time that I deserved. And it was like that breakthrough. It was like hiding away and just out of reach. I'd hit a level and I just couldn't get past that level and felt like I was building alone with just a few people. And I questioned it. I've cried over it. I've journaled about it. I've prayed over it. Like, why are other people having like these incredible people join them? But you know what? I get it now. The breakthrough didn't come because I wanted it. It came because finally I've become the person that can handle it. It came because I didn't just talk about leadership. I've lived it. I've shown it. I don't just train others, I learned to train myself, through every season, through every plateau I kept going, through having to rebuild, through every no, day after day, every trial, every troll, every person leaving, every call where nobody showed up. And you know what? The universe, I'm telling you, it might sound woo woo, but it was watching. Because whether you believe in the universe, God, whatever you believe in, it doesn't hand you a breakthrough until it knows you're ready to kind of steward that properly. So when people say to me, you're lucky to have leaders like that and the growth that you're having, I'll kind of in a nice way say, maybe you're not unlucky. Maybe it's just not your time and you're not ready yet. Maybe that growth you want hasn't shown up yet because you haven't proven that you could actually carry the weight of what comes with that. I want you to think, could you really handle call after call, day after day with no break? Could you stay calm when you've got like 10 people wanting you to ask messages at one point, different personalities? Can you keep holding that vision for you and your team? The responsibility, the sacrifice that actually comes once you have income, once you have more influence. You really want that next level, but you have to grow as a person to match it. And you know what? All of you will deserve it, and all of you can get this one day. And you know what? That growth in the team, the growth in the income, it's magical and it feels better when you're ready for it. So you need to keep showing up. You need to keep doing the work because you have to work on that resilience, that rhino skin, growing your mindset, your skills, your emotional resilience, because one day it's just going to click. And when it clicks, I'm telling you, it is going to move fast. And that's what happened here. And do you know what? When all these big names started joining us, I was a little bit scared. I was like, me and Nikki Nash looked at each other like, what is happening? But you know what? We showed up with posture, not because we weren't a bit nervous, because now it was our duty to lead. It really was. to hold on to that belief while they were just getting started here, to be grounded, that grounded energy, in the room, to start to learn to guide them, not manage them, to actually serve them as real leaders, not control them. And I'm just so proud of what's been happening, and it's just building so fast. And I just want to show some real deep gratitude on this call for Nikki Nash. For 5 years, Nikki's been with me here since day one, but for 4 years previously and the last 14 months here, Nikki sends out 50 messages every single day, 7 days a week, 50 without fail. And she always has since day one, talking to people every day. And she gets no after no after no. There may be a yes, then no after no, but she's consistent. She's been growing as a leader. She's all heart. And that one message, okay, that she sent opened up the North American team. She connected with Heather, who actually, Heather tried to recruit Nikki into her other business. But Nikki said no. Instead, Nikki said, come and have a look at mine. And something clicked. We had a 3-way call. We then brought Ilian in. Of course, we want to edify our uplines always. Heather then connected with Yoni, and then she connected us with Jen, and the magic started to happen. And these ladies, they flew to Alicante to convention. Does that sound familiar? Where did Nikki and I fly a year before? We flew to Milan to convention. We went to an event that gave us belief, that gave us vision. And that's exactly where Jen and Heather made their decision. This is why we talk so much about how events change lives. And you need to be there, but you need to get your teams to events, whether that be a small event local to you, company convention, boot camps, whatever it is that's going on. Events change lives. And this is why I will always encourage people to invest in themselves to get to events, because there may be people sat in your team right now with so much potential inside them. And if they go to an event, something might just happen. And an event's a call as well. It doesn't always have to be in person. It's about showing up, because it just takes that one moment that could change something. So yeah, Jen and Heather came to Milan and they experienced what Nikki and I had a year previously, and they were in. And we're truly grateful for both of them and for every incredible person who's joined since, because I said yes, Nikki said yes, Heather said yes, Jen said yes, and the list keeps going on. And I just want you to realize that your yes for joining here, this company, all of you watching today, you seriously could change hundreds, if not thousands of people's lives in a positive way. Just a few of us in a living room, now to over, 100, like thousands of people, like my team now traveling more, earning more, and building freedom one day at a time. I've already got in 14 months, including myself, 4 documented 6-figure earners, over 15 jades, countless silvers, gold, platinums, titaniums, and we've changed families' lives. We have, friendships, we've built confidence, we've helped people increase their income. But this wasn't because we were lucky, not because of perfect systems, but because we kept going. We show up every day, we share, we duplicate one step at a time, and we work together. But I want you to know that there's a lot that you don't see. This all sounds exciting, and all of the growth and the fun and the friendships and the income. But I want you to listen to this, because some of you might be sat there and thinking, oh, well, it's okay for her, but I have this going on and that going on, and oh, my whole life is falling to pieces. As much as you may have seen the wins, the rank ups, the travel, the growth, what I'm talking about today on my social media, and now my nice shiny 100K check, here is what you didn't see. When I started building this 14 months ago, we had lost all of our income. We didn't have hardly any money. And my husband, Joycey, who is my biggest cheerleader now, I'd managed to previously retire him in my old company so that I could pour more time to go to the next level in my business, and he could be a more hands-on dad and build some other businesses on the side himself. And now, because I had to start from scratch and lost that income, he had to go back to work, and not everybody knew this. And when I started 14 months ago, he actually went and was doing 12-hour shifts at Amazon, stacking boxes exhausted, sleeping through the day, not something he wanted to do, but he chose that job. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that job or work at all. But let's be clear, for us, it was a decision that we made together so he could cover the bills and allow me to rebuild something from scratch. Now, at that same time, until very recently, my mum, who lives in Spain, and at the time I was living in the UK with my family, she was seriously ill, in and out of hospital. My sister, who also lives near her, was really trying to support her. I was running her own business, but she was burning out and she needed help. So I was still living in the UK at the time. I was spending hours on the phone coordinating care, supporting her emotionally, trying to be present for my family from a distance. I was flying back and forth to Spain when I could, trying to be everywhere at once. It was overwhelming. The emotional toll was heavy. I was torn in every direction. My mum, business, kids, team, partner, finances, and let me be clear, it was non-stop. Don't think it's all sunshine and sangria. Behind the scenes, it's tough. Every penny that I earned in the early months of this business, I poured straight back into the business, into systems, into onboarding, into tools, into traveling, into being at events, into getting and meeting people in my team, into resources to help the team win. And while I was doing that, I also had trolls attacking me online, strangers digging up stories, people in my old company doing everything they could do to throw shade, online messaging me, posting about me, telling people to not join me. It was really personal. It was really nasty. It was full on mean girl culture. And it hurt because I'm human like you. And there were nights I cried my eyes out. But you know what? Even in all of those moments, I still showed up, wiping my tears and still on a three-way call, smiling. Presentation after presentation. Kids messing everything up around me. Trolls online, but still doing presentation for the team, for everybody. Sometimes with a sick feeling in my stomach about things that I just read about me, or between phone calls to my mum or a toddler meltdown. Sometimes, after just getting off a flight, after I'd come back from a hospital update, but I still showed up. And I'm not saying this for pity at all, because one thing I have never been or would play is a victim. I want to tell you this because that's what leaders do. I have a responsibility to my goals, to my family, to my business, to my team, and nothing was ever going to be my excuse. No trolls, no critics, not money, not time, not burnout, not hospital trips, not chaos of life that we all have. And, here's the bit I really want you to hear. Every day I hear people tell me, but Laura, I don't have time. Oh, but I haven't got any money. My kids are really young still. My partner doesn't support me. I've got too much on. And I just want to say, yes, some serious things happen in life. I get that. And I am empathetic towards it. I get it. I've lived a lot of it. But I also want to ask you to think about something really honestly. And, ask yourself something. Are you actually using all of these things as a reason to shrink? Or are you going to use them as a reason to rise? Because, you can use it as your story to carry on staying stuck. It's up to you. Or you can actually fuel and use it as this fuel to go all in on something. Because you know what's happened now? It's been a hell of a roller coaster the last 14 months because of everything I had going on behind the scenes, as well as having to rebuild from scratch. This business gives you options: money, freedom, community, flexibility. And you know what it's meant for me? Okay. Success loves speed. It's so much harder to go slower than to go faster in the time that you have. It's meant I could finally move back to Spain, be closer to my mum while she's still here to enjoy us. I can support my sister, be part of the solution, not just emotional support on a phone. I'm now able to, build a business, in a beautiful sunshine country, be more present for my family without asking anybody's permission. It's meant that Joyce and my husband can finally stop those night shifts. And now he's building his traditional business and building this alongside me, doing something we're passionate about. And you know those nasty trolls online, those people that have just been waiting for me to fail? Well, do you know what? They better get themselves a new pair of sunglasses and they can buy them on our lifestyle mall because I'm about to shine brighter than ever. And I know so many more of you are as well. And I just want you to know that you can't let hardships hold you back. You need to let them be the fire that really, really drives you, and just be that action taker, be that solution maker, and don't be a victim to what goes in life because we all have that, because if I can build through all the mess I've had going on, I know that you can as well. But I just don't want this call today, to be about just story. I want there to be a little bit of strategy behind it as well. Because if you want to build momentum and a team that duplicates, which is important, there's a few things, and I want you to write these down. There's a few pointers that I want you to think about. I want you, number one, to lead from the front. Now, what do I mean by that? I joined as an elite turbo, and now I have the posture to tell everybody that that's what I think they should do. Why? Because when you lead with the highest level of belief, people are going to follow. Elite Turbo shows that you're serious. It gives you over 3,000 loyalty points a year, more than enough for two people to go on a life experience trip every single year, fully covered. Have that vision. Can you imagine in 12 months when you've got all these loyalty points and you can pick a trip for you and somebody that you love and you go on that trip and you've got social proof and you've got a story that you can tell people? Think how many more people are going to join you then? Because I'm not in this business just for the next week or month. I know that all of these little moments, all of these stories are going to grow my business in the future and beyond. It's a story, it's value. If you're not on turbo, find a way to upgrade. Sell what, you need to sell what you can believe in and create stories around. Number two, I want you to start focusing when people come in on the fast start and silver. Fast start and silver are your first goals. They're the formula. Every person that you bring in, immediately you need to create that urgency of they should be aiming for 2 elite turbos in the first 7 days. That should be what you talk about. Don't spend hours talking about the pay plan and training on the portal and everything else. They don't need a mindset call. Massive action, 2 elite turbos in the first 7 days. They'll get the direct bonus, but they'll also get 150 bonus on top. And then go for one more. Come on, you just got 2. Go for one more. They hit silver. Their membership is now covered and they're in profit. But more than that, it's built belief. That urgency, okay? Right at the beginning, help them do that. Because now they've experienced a win. They've seen money and that win's going to duplicate, okay? Then you just help them get their 3 people. But while they're getting their 3 people, you need to do it again. You need to do it again. Go silver and go silver again. Number 3, I want you to keep things simple and duplicable. Please, please stop trying to impress people with complexity, with big words. People do not duplicate complicated. They duplicate clear and they duplicate clarity. Here's how I teach every new member. Write your list, okay? Write your list of people as fast as you can, okay? Book a call with these people or invite them to look at a presentation. Your focus is to get 2 elite turbos as fast as you can. Let's hit those fast start together. Once they've done that, okay, who else can you talk to? One more, silver. And once they've done that, help your people do the same. That is it. They don't need any more training. Don't build a 20-step funnel. Don't overthink your content and spend hours on Canva. Keep your onboarding simple, clear, and fast moving. Okay? Number 4, keep enrolling always. Personal enrolling. Please do me a favor. And I am culprit of this, and I have to remind myself all the time, never step into management mode. If you stop personally enrolling, guess what? Your team will do the same. I still personally enroll. But you know why? New blood brings new energy. It keeps the team alive as well. And you know what happens? Your team watch what you do more than they watch like what you tell them to do. And if they see you taking action, they're going to do the same. If they see you coasting along and just telling them what to do, they're going to do the same with their people when they bring them in. You need to be the culture. You have to be the culture. I see people get one person in their team and they're all day spending their time trying to coach that one person. No, bring them in, plug them into the system. Next one, plug them into the system, plug them into the system, and you keep bringing fresh blood in all the time. Okay, for those of you on the call, the next thing I want you to focus on is once you are gold, see how I'm keeping this really simple. Once you're gold, or when you are gold, this is what I want you to set as your standard. I want you to forget about hitting platinum and titanium. The only thing you need to focus on as your goal, and write it down, is the gold boost bonus. You want to up that check, the gold boost bonus. Every Monday to Sunday, you bring in 6 elite turbos in that 1 week between you and your runners. Okay. And you're going to get your 600 boost bonus. Now, guess what? If you make that your target, even if you don't hit the 6, maybe you hit 3, well, guess what? Your business is still growing. If you do hit the 6, amazing. And make that your goal every single week. And I promise you, the ranks will automatically come. Write it on a whiteboard, write it on your notes, let it be in your guide of your daily actions. Okay, that's when you're gold or above. You need to be just focusing on boost bonus, boost bonus, boost bonus, boost bonus. That needs to be your goal, and create a culture around that's what you're going after. Okay, and build culture and community is the next thing. This is so important. Culture and community is what holds the glue together. Duplication is just the system, okay? And also it is a feeling, because it's really important that we don't just duplicate like 2 a day, get those 2 people in, gold boost bonuses. We need to duplicate celebration. Celebrate every milestone of your team. Voice notes, create energy in your chats. You want to be recognized in their ranks, their first sign-ups. People love recognition. Make people feel seen. Even if they've done their first live, celebrate them for having the guts to go live, okay? Make people feel part of something bigger than where they see themselves right now. People stay where they really get seen. They stay where they're heard, and they stay where they're supported. So make sure that you are, making sure that as you like are really, really making sure that people feel that like heard. And just literally, the last thing I want to say is don't reinvent the wheel. Plug into whichever system your uplines that are having more results than you are getting. The leaders in the company that have got a proven track record of results, use what is already working. Use the tools, the chats, the calls, the events, and then you can bring your own voice to it, your own energy, your own story. What makes things stick for you. Duplication doesn't mean everybody being a robot. It means everybody following the same framework, but then everybody doing it as their own authentic self. That is what duplication is. So if you take nothing, from this training today, there is one thing I do want you to take. And there's something that every single day I do want you to all focus on. I've been asked, how did I get here? How did I get to this rank? So many of the team getting results? And I want you all to focus. We've had training on it before. Get a minimum of 2 people a day to watch a presentation. That doesn't mean start a conversation with 2 people or send a link. Really make an effort to get two people a day to actually watch a full presentation, present a full presentation every day. This is the heartbeat of where our growth is going to be. It's what duplicates. Okay. Now, do you know what my team chat is called? My team chat is called two a day. Why? Because that's the standard that we're setting. It's a habit that we want to create, and it's a non-negotiable that we remind people of all the time. Okay. Now, we've already had a powerful, powerful training on two a day. And if you haven't seen it, reach out to whoever your kind of upline presidential ranks are and ask them to share that training with you. Because honestly, it's something that everybody should listen to and even rewatch it every now and then just to remind yourself. And, that really just compounding that two a day, every single day, consistency is what's going to grow. And then you're going to go up the ranks step by step by step. Now, the last part of what's got me here, I think, is my leadership mindset. And I just want to kind of finish this with a little bit about leadership. And just because the mechanics are very simple behind it, because if your mindset's not right, it's going to hold you back. So here are just a couple of things that I want you to know that I've learned, I guess, on my road to 100K. Energy beats perfection every single time. My first presentation was messy, the slides were awful, the kids were loud, but people still joined. Why? Because they felt my conviction. So please do not wait until things are perfect. Just let people feel your belief. Know that your mindset needs to be strong because people are going to test you. There'll be trolls, there'll be critics, there'll be silent watchers, like hoping that you're going to fail. But you know what? You're not here to please anybody, everyone. You're here to help the ones that are ready to do this with you. So just stay focused on the mission, not worrying about what anybody else thinks. Your mindset needs to understand simplicity. Just master silver. That's a business model. Fast start, silver, repeat. Fast start, silver, repeat. The more you complicate it, the more you will kill your team's momentum. And lead by example. Please do never, ever, ever ask your team to do what you won't do. You want to post daily? Okay. You want them to go live? You do it. Okay. You want them to send 10 messages a day? You send 10 messages a day. So many leaders out there that call themselves leaders, you're telling your team to do 2 presentations a day. Are you showing up and doing 2 presentations a day? They lead by example. And you know what? People will follow. And please, amongst all of it, protect your energy because your energy is your currency. And I don't want anybody to waste it on drama, on draining people, on distractions. So set those boundaries. Really, really guard that and do not let everyone get access to you. Okay, because if you're drained, you can't lead and your team are going to feel it. So to close this completely, and what I want you to do next, every single person on this call, and like I said, I'm asking you to do it, so I'm going to do it myself. You're either going to go silver again this month, go to silver, or you're going to go silver again. This business grows when you do, okay? And you're going to do that by a minimum of 2 presentations a day. Again tomorrow and again the day after, 2 a day, every day. That's it. This is not about luck, getting to those 10K figures, okay? Those 100K a year figures. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about conversations, consistency. It's about belief in motion. And I know some of what I've said may have challenged you today, and some of it might have triggered you, but that's a really good thing because you know what? Growth does not come when we feel comfortable. It comes, when habits shift, when people tell us straight, when people wake us up and then we take the action off the back of it. So I just want you all to raise your standards a little bit, get to work, and that universe, okay, it is going to give you your breakthrough when you prove to it that you are really leveling up, taking the action, doing the work. Okay, so stay focused, keep it simple. Let's build some legacy together. You know what to do, everybody. So what we need to do is we just need to go away and do it, don't we? So thank you so much, everybody, for all of your time. I hope you took some notes. I hope that you've got some value from that. And I'm really, really excited, to see so many of you raise the bar now. And I've still got that diamond 750 a day circled. It's actually on my screen right here, circled 750 a day. Watch me. I'm going to do it. Thank you so much, everyone. Love you lots. Bye bye.